Thanks to Jen for giving us a great model and a beautifully written out mini lesson. I just want to calm your fears because these are the very same fears I had. I took one look at that mini lesson and said, and I'm going to be writing a mini lesson? Mine may not look like that. Right, it's not going to look like that. So I'll give you a very different kind of model when I do mine. So know that we want our mini lessons to be as complete as they can and that we're doing them, we're going to hopefully be doing a lot of them. So the piece we're going to look at right now is the research. What's the research behind what we're doing? Because let's be honest, it's a whole lot easier to get a grammar program, a grammar book, worksheets, just like that 5th grade boy who said, oh, well, when I have the worksheets, I like them a lot better because you don't have to think. And we don't have to think either. Okay, and if this is not a strong area of mine, and it never has been, I found that system easier. So why would we go to all this work? Why would we make it harder on ourselves? We have enough to do already. Well, we need to go back to the research. So you have 2 pieces in your folder, and whoops, we can unzoom this. One of them is a quote from the Carnegie Report entitled Writing Next, and the other is some of Constance Weaver, or Connie Weaver for those of you who had her or have heard her at many conferences. And what I'd like for you to do, so pull those 2 pieces out. You might want a pen, you might want a highlighter. So, you have 2 documents to read. The Connie Weaver, couple pages out of a chapter of hers, and then additionally her principles to guide the smart teaching of grammar for writing. I want you to read these, digest them, whatever way works for you. You highlight them, you underline them, you write notes. But one thing I definitely want you to do is I'd like you to make some notes in the margin, marginalia, and feel free to correct my spelling when you have those kind of odd words. Either on the document or on some sticky notes, because what we're going to do is after you read it, after you make your notes, you're going to pass your papers around to the person to your left. They've read the very same document. They're going to read your notes, and they're going to comment on your notes. And then you're going to pass that around, and the next person's going to comment on your notes and the comments that the other person read. So it's a way to have a conversation about this in written form. So this is a strategy that comes from that document that lives on the MDE website called Writing Across the Curriculum. And it's kind of a fun way to have a discussion or to get us thinking. So we'll put some quiet in the room while everybody reads, marks, highlights, but do please put some notes in the margin so other people can respond to your public thinking. Right, wherever you are in your reading and note taking, start the process of passing your paper, probably paper or papers, either one. You can just pass the stapled ones if you'd like, to the person to your left. And then the person to the left can add a sticky note with their comments about your comments or an additional comment of their own. And take about a minute or 2. So go ahead and pass this back to the person who started it. And just have a verbal conversation now that you've had a written conversation. How does this fit for what you believe, for what your experience has been? What's exciting? about this research and the possibility of doing grammar this way, or it may be exactly the way you teach grammar. You may use one of those two research-based strategies, which is in the context of writing, and for our context, writing workshop or student-centered writing process, and with some form of sentence combining, which Anderson calls a mentor sentence and Aaronworth and Vinton call apprenticeship at the sentence level. So just have a bit of chat at your table. So I'm going to interrupt. I hate to interrupt these fabulous conversations. To be in a room of almost 60 teachers where we're all deeply engaged in conversations about grammar. I mean, how many times has that happened in your life? I think this is the biggest group of people I've been with who are just so focused. Thank you. I heard some great conversations. Some people saying, well, when we realized that worksheets weren't good, we quit doing that, but then we didn't do anything. Someone else talking about, well, I'm not even sure I had grammar in college. I'm not even sure my professor had grammar. So we're finding a home for it. And certainly grammar is a bigger picture than the standards that we're looking at. And we're going to keep our focus on those language standards in the Common Core because that is big work for our time together. Just say a word to your colleagues at your table about the process. How did that process work for you to read and make notes and then read notes and go around? Just 1 minute, a word to your colleagues about the process, just the content.